Okay, good morning everybody. My name is Filip van Laenen, and I'm going to talk about being an SVG architect and why you should become one instead of being a PowerPoint architect. I'm not going to talk about the practice of being a PowerPoint architect, so I'm not going to talk about what it is, or whether it's a good thing or a bad thing, or how to become one, or how to avoid to become one. I'm just going to talk about PowerPoint as an architecture drawing tool. And my problem, well, it's not just about PowerPoint either, it's also the same for Keynote and for Impress. The problem with PowerPoint is that every drawing that you make in PowerPoint, if you're drawing an architecture, it looks so PowerPointy. And it's the same for Impress and Keynote, they look so impressive and so Keynote-y. Because it's the same color, if you just use the default shapes and you don't do anything special with it. The same kind of style, the strokes, the lines. Every drawing looks the same. So your drawing won't look differently from somebody else's architecture drawing. And if you're doing a presentation for a customer, they won't remember it. This is how the same drawing looks in SVG, so I just made the same drawing, but look at small details like getting the colors right. That's much easier if you start with SVG and you don't have a default color set. It's easy to get it right, but you can do better styling, get the strokes in there, you can have rounded corners, you can put in a glow, you can put in a shadow. So these are all sorts of things that you can do in PowerPoint, Impress and Keynote too. But if you do it in SVG, an SVG drawing tool, it's easier to actually do it, to take the time to do it, because by default it lags. If you're going to remember one lady from this picture, which one is it going to be? It's the one that outstands, right? So styling matters, unfortunately. The best drawing you make, if it looks dull, because it's a PowerPoint architecture type of drawing, your customer probably won't remember it. I think you will remember the lady in red. Style matters, so you have to get the colors right, use your company's palette. You have to do some work with the styling, like the strokes and the arrows, stuff like that. You may want to put in some glow or shadows, but don't put too much in it, because sometimes if you overdo it, it starts to look a little bit silly. You can use shapes and you customize it the way you want them. And you can get the fonts right. It's much easier to do it in SVG. If you need custom shapes, you have the whole internet as your open library for clip art. And it's open as in open to reuse, open to modify, open to extend. And if you do something smart with it, please also remember to share it. But these are just some shapes that I picked from the internet. If you need something like a map or a flag or something like that, you can actually use the whole Wikipedia, because most of the drawings in Wikipedia are SVG based. So you can just pick it from there, apply your style to it, and use it in your presentation or a drawing as if you made it yourself. That's sometimes quite impressive. I have had presentations where people just remembered the representation from the Norway map with the correct colors. SVG is scalable, so it means that if you want to blow it up or you want to only use a detail of one of those icons, that's no problem. You can just enlarge it without any problem. And as a last resort, you can also do free drawing. You can, of course, do free drawing in PowerPoint or Keynote in Impress too, but it's not the same thing. You're very limited to the kind of shapes and arrows and the styles they provide. If you want to use a tool, I can recommend Inkscape, which is a very good one. It's open source, so you can download it and use it on any operating system. So this is how it looks like. But maybe an even better argument is that SVG is XML. So you have drawings with source code, so you can pretend you're doing technical work as a PowerPoint architect. And you can even do some programming. Because it's XML, you can replace the colors from red to a little bit more yellow kind of color just by opening up your document in a text editor and do a search and replace. I think that's difficult in PowerPoint to do. You can even change the font just by doing a search and replace on the XML file. And, for example, adapt the drawing from one style to another style just by scripting it. That's cool. So you're not just a PowerPoint architect where everybody is laughing at you. You can actually pretend you're one of the guys on the floor. SVG is also part of HTML5. So anybody can view it. If you have a browser that supports HTML5, you can look at the drawing. So you can send it out. Nobody has any excuse to say, oh, I can't open it because I don't have Visio installed. Everybody can import it. You can actually import SVG into PowerPoint. And everybody can reuse it. And if you share it on the internet to a library, even better. Just as a note, whenever I put a drawing on an internal wiki or something, I export it to PNG just to be sure that it looks good. But even if you look at the source code, you can see things like text, rectangular, ellipse. So you can actually understand and do stuff inside the XML document, fix small things to get it just right, just the way you want it. So, next time you're going to make a drawing, which one do you want to make? The dull one with the PowerPointy colors? Or you want to have one that's a bit more outstanding? SVG is an open standard. Because there's no default style on it, it helps you to actually use some time and attention to put the style on it, so you get a better style. And finally, you can pretend that you're actually doing some technical work. Good luck. Thanks.